All right, everybody, recording is on. So everything you say will be held against you. Let's see, we got.
I didn't get my raise.
Say what?
I didn't get my raise yet.
You didn't get your raise yet? Oh, well.
We're recording, right? Let's go ahead and have this conversation.
Yeah, might as well. Looks like we got Zach Coleman twice. He cloned himself.
Yeah, sorry. Ever since I updated my computer, my normal Zoom has been just holding the connect button not working. So I don't know what's going on with it.
No worries.
I'm going off of the browser.
Gotcha. No worries. All right, so we got Mike, you got Sajad, Zach, Michael. Missing a couple. We'll hang out for one more minute and then we'll just dive right in and we'll get Michael Palachi back to his amazing vacation.
There you go.
I'm actually working on the website for our Harmonizers Club, which supports the chorus department at the high school.
Oh, nice.
So it's not really a vacation, but it is. It's fun work.
Yeah. Giving back kind of work. I love it.
Giving back kind of work.
That's the way to take this kind of a vacation day, right?
Yep.
Good stuff.
So, Mike, while we're waiting for others to hop on, and it just popped in my mind, do you think this is going to be a concern moving forward because this is a free group and there's no skin in the game here?
Say that for me again, as far as
making sure people show up.
I gotcha. Potentially, honestly, I think that. Look, I'm here to help these particular 8 people grow their businesses, and if you're in, you're in. If you don't want to show up, I'm not going to babysit anybody and try to make them show up. I'm not going to try to charge for this. I'm just honestly invested in the 8 of you. If you want that investment, cool. It's the free gift. If you don't, then no worries. If you show up on occasion, I guess the only thing that's going to concern me is the accountability partner, right? If I find that there are some folks that are not having that meeting with their accountability partner or, there to talk about the goals of their accountability partner, and you're right, I would have to kind of cut that down, right? I'd have to make sure I team up the right people together that are truly committed to this. I think that's a fair thought. Any suggestions based on what I just stated there?
No, I think that, listen, I'm going to be here,
Yeah.
And I think the people who really want the help are going to be here. So what do we have today? 1, 2, 3, 4 of us out of the 8.
That's correct.
So that's half.
Yeah, it is. I know Brandon's on vacation. Let's see,
Okay.
who's our other half? One second. Let me just look at the group.
No, Zach, we can't hear you right now.
I'm not sure where Khalif is or Rich. Actually, Marty, has Rich shown up to one of these yet? I can't remember if he was on the last one.
I think he was on the last one.
Okay. Did he introduce himself last time, guys? Anybody remember?
I don't remember Rich.
I don't think so.
Okay. And then Doug Smiley, I'm not sure where Doug's at today. So we're going to have to ping some people and go, hey, why weren't you here?
Well, I think that's it. I think because it's free and because you specifically picked a certain amount of people, that guilt is going to be a good way to make sure people are here. Hey, I chose you. You accepted. You're holding a valuable seat.
Right. Absolutely. I completely agree. Yeah. I can phrase it that way. Look, if you want in, then, keep being, show up. But if you don't, then I'm going to have to find somebody else to be in. So that's fair. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys being here. I hope that you take a lot away from today. I'm going to start off by first saying that my primary goal with this particular training was to come up with some new concepts. I am going to completely be transparent and say these are some untested concepts. They're, I haven't actually worked with anybody on these concepts, but my main goal was I know there are so many of you that are using cold calling to generate new business. And I know, some of the closing rates, the no-show rates, the things like that come along with that. And I want to, be able to help you move in a direction if you're going to use cold calling to grow your business. And I want to help direct that into a new concept that I think will help a lot. So that's just how I want to start off. So what is today? We're talking about agency lead generation, and actually, agency lead generation and the COI model. By the way, just real quick, anybody here ever heard of the COI model before? Nope. All right. It's not going to be all that mind-blowing. It might not just be the way you've heard about it before. So in essence, subtitle here is, if you're going to cold call, at least call the right people. So the assumption made for this presentation real quick is I present from a cold calling perspective for the startup agency that has little budget, that has few clients. But this model can be executed in multiple ways, not just from a cold call perspective. But I'm going to talk from that perspective today. So what is COI or COI? It's an acronym. It means center of influence. Okay. So there are centers of influence in every single business that are ultimately the best contacts for you to actually have relationships with, that are going to help you grow your business, that are going to refer people into your business, that are going to be the people that you should spend your time getting to know and building a relationship with. Now, there are multiple COI models. There's the COI affiliate model, which consumes some profits. If you build out an affiliate model, that's, they have contacts inside the industry that you want to do business with. And I mean, the easiest thing is say, hey, I'll give you some money if you make those introductions, right? That's what a lot of folks will build this model off of, is because it's so easy to say, hey, I'm going to give you money in exchange for making that introduction, which honestly, that's how that company is built. Although it's not just purely an affiliate model, right? It's a white label model where we operate underneath another brand, but we're building relationships with agency owners that are a center of influence for the target market we want to work with, all these different customers, right? But you could do that as well, is have that as an affiliate model. I'm not going to talk about that model specifically today at all. There's also the COI give and take model, which is the, hey, I'm going to make introductions. There's no money changing hands. I'm going to make introductions to you. You're going to make introductions to me. We're both going to end up gaining business as a result. And there's tons and tons and tons of groups out there that are built on that model of bring your network to the group. I'll bring my network to the group. And then we'll end up all being able to, cross mingle and do business with all the connections we already have. And that's perfectly fine. But it's also very time consuming, and it is, building on that model is very inconsistent, right? You could give a whole lot. Who knows what you get back? I still recommend doing that in terms of giving and giving and giving, because I do believe it does come back. But the COI model I'm going to talk about today is the COI mutualism model. Okay, this is where I provide you benefits in a non-monetary way and a non-referral way that is going to come of the nature of what I am doing for the clients. And you're going to ultimately introduce me to your network that I'm going to service. So why are they going to do that? Well, actually, real quick, before we jump into that, I want to talk about Dunbar's number real quick. So this is the concept that you really can only maintain 150 stable relationships, right? Has anybody here heard of Dunbar's number before? Yay, nay? No? All right. It's really very straightforward, very simple. There's only so much time in the day. There's only so much time in the day. There's only so much, brain power you can, and energy you can devote to any number of relationships. All right. And the 150 people are part of your tribe, right? They're not going to be, I mean, you got your kin, you got your family, your super family, you got your clan. You know, this is probably like your business. You know, if it kind of gets out to here, that company is like my clan. And then there's my tribe, which expands beyond just my company and all the relationships I have. But there's only so many that I personally can maintain. My company might be able to maintain more, but you personally, as you're building out your agency, can only maintain so many relationships. So where is your time best invested? Here's the choice. If you're making cold calls today, you can either cold call someone who can become a client, which is what almost everyone does, right? Hey, look, I want to do business with you. I'm going to provide value to you in some sort of way. You know, a lot of what we teach to people is give away the free competitor analysis. We'll run it. We'll have a conversation and we'll see what comes out on the other end. But as I really look at that, I really thought of a different model that you guys could employ. And that is, what if instead of cold calling someone that could become a client, you instead cold call someone who can bring you multiple clients? What's the logical choice? If I can only maintain so many relationships, I really want the guy that's going to bring me, you know, a whole lot of warm introductions, right? I want the person that's going to bring me multiple clients. From all my time invested trying to reach out to people, I want them to give me more than just one client. So that's what we're really going to talk about today, is cold calling people who can bring you multiple clients and why. So here's the old cold call model. Cold call hundreds of leads, turn a percentage into appointments, build value, warm up lead via one-on-one free consultation, and then close a small percentage of them after seeing a proposal. I mean, it's cold for a reason. The percentages are smaller because they're not necessarily in the market at this very moment. Even if you have something to offer that's super amazing, they may already have that need taken care of. And most of them do. They didn't need you. They didn't know you existed. And so, you know, they were doing business fine. So they're not, you and meeting you is not their top priority. You know, things were going along just fine. Business was already pouring in, or maybe it wasn't, but, you know, business was already running before they met you. So showing up to that meeting isn't the top of their priority list either. So let me just give you some of the numbers. So I ran a cold call team 2013 to 2015. And I just want to be really transparent about what those numbers were. Okay. It would take about 50 to 100 calls to get one appointment. Now, I realize there are some of you that are doing this in a much more efficient way, that have a better offer, that are not doing the calls so much, that are sending out thousands of messages using LinkedIn, using email, things like that. That's all fine and good, you know. But one thing that you cannot escape in the cold call method is the high no-show rate. It's just not going to be their top priority. You might interest them. They might say yes, but if something shows up in their day besides coming to that meeting and seeing that research, guess what? They're going to take care of their business they already have, their current customers, the current marketing efforts that they have. And so we end up with a high no-show rate, which is a waste of time for you, which is a waste of time for us. And still, as far as the closing rate, this is the closing rate we had for those 2 years, 6%. Okay. Now, what I can tell you about this, and I don't want this to be completely discouraging because it shouldn't be, if you're cold calling the right people that you want to do business with, this is still a very profitable model. It takes a lot of energy and a lot of effort, but it's very profitable. And one story I can give you is 6 months running our cold call team. We had made thousands upon thousands of cold calls. We had already closed some clients. We closed, a couple of $1,000, $2,000 retainer clients. That was all fine and good. Started helping pay some of the bills. Wasn't breaking even yet. We broke even on month 6. We closed a client for $6,500 a month. And that client went on to grow within the first year to $30,000 a month. And that was in 2013. There's still a client today at $30,000 a month. And trust me, that paid way more than we ever invested into the labor and the energy and all that, because, I don't even have a cold call team anymore. That was done away with in 2015. So I don't even have the labor costs, right? All those costs are well covered. So it's still a very highly profitable model. But if you're going to pursue that model, let me just tell you, you have to call the right people, the people that are going to be high ticket. You can't call hey, I'm going to get a $900 deal, $1,000 deal. not even really the $2,000 deal, guys. You have to aim for the $5,000 to $10,000 deals. That's where you got to aim if you're going to make this into a truly profitable model for you. But that's not even the model I want to really cover. I just wanted to give you guys some insight into, you know, our data and our findings in that model. Okay. This is the COI model. Cold call and build relationships with COI, centers of influence. Then you would host an education-based event or webinar for the COI's connections, building value one-to-many. Instead of the free consultation one-to-one call, you're now building up your brand, your exposure, you know, who you are in their eyes, one-to-many. People trust people that are on stages. People trust people that have been put in front of them, you know, almost automatically because, hey, I'm watching you. You somehow got here. You must be important. And instead of that being on a one-on-one basis, that one-to-many is a huge time savings. And if someone doesn't show up, if one person doesn't show up, who cares? We have so many other people that are there learning about you, learning about your brand, right? So this is something that I'm suggesting you guys would do. You would find, you know, a topic that you would be super educated on, that you would really deep dive to provide value on. And then what you do at the end of that is you make a pre-approved offer at the end of the event and you accept orders. So that would, if at all possible, it would be a paid offer of, hey, look, you know, if this is something that you found a lot of value in today, this is something we can do for you. This is what it costs, you know, and that might be, give you an example of one that we would probably use. Hey, we're going to build out a comprehensive strategy for you, you know, and that's our 895 report, you know, the whole SEO report and gives pay-per-click data, et cetera. You make that pre-approved offer at the end of the event. And then you got your percentage back, right? But what's step one? All right, so that's nice and fine and good, Mike. But who are these, you know, centers of influence? You know, who's actually going to want to do this? Well, first we have to identify who that COI is going to be, and then who are they that are going to put lots of qualified prospects in front of you. So let's go through identifying what that looks like. Where can you look for COI? Other organizations that are currently supplying and or serving your target market that aren't directly competing with you. Okay, so there's plenty of other vendors out there that are not in the agency business, that don't care about the marketing side of that customer's business, but they serve exactly the same target market. Those are the people we have to identify. And I'm going to give a couple examples. I'm not, you know, breaking down everything, but we can obviously have a conversation on, you know, all right, let's brainstorm together on, you know, you four. So here's some sample questions to ask yourself to, you know, about targeting and identifying the COI. So as far as your target market, what services do they use? Let's figure out that. What products do they buy? What tools do they use? Who do they already trust? And what industry resources do they read? These are all different places, organizations that you would be able to build relationships with, right? People that are providing other products and tools and things of that nature. So I'm just going to call it out. This does best work when you get specific about your target market. I am recommending picking a niche. I get that question all the time. Should I pick a niche? Should I not pick a niche? Should I be a generalist? I'm going to tell you, if someone knocks on your door, don't turn it away, right? But as far as your time, your effort, and initially building out an agency, absolutely, I'm going to recommend picking a niche. It just compounds. You know, when you can have a customer that you create wins for, and you create a case study for, and you get a testimonial, a video testimonial from them, and then you go to the next one and say, hey, look, I obviously have done it before. It's a whole lot easier than, you know, going over to another industry you've never touched. So I do suggest picking a niche, and then this model works best when you do. So I'm going to give you a few examples of COI. So let's say that we want to target dentists. All right, well, dental supplies. I mean, this is as simple as a Google search, right? To identify, I'm just trying to make this as, you know, inexpensive as possible. You guys could go out to lead providers to find people inside this industry and buy leads. You can, you know, scrape or whatever your method you want, you know, but kind of giving you an idea. All right, well, here you go, dentist supplies. If you're really wanting to work with a bunch of different dentists, here you go. reaching out to these folks, offering to host a webinar or a training, which I'll get to that in a minute of, all right, how do you pitch that? Roofing supplies, you want to work with roofers? By the way, I'm a big fan of this industry because it's big ticket. It's replicable. So, you can get one in a local geography and pick up another one and not be competing against each other, right? I can, I really get it dialed in. I can clone the landing pages. I can clone, the ad campaigns and launch, and boom, we're in a new city. And we already know that those keywords and those negative keywords and things like that work. So I'm a fan of that. Athlete family office. So this one's I honestly thought of Zach on. Hey, if I'm going to work with a bunch of athletes, all right, well, who do they already trust? They trust their family office that's handling their wealth. Do you think their family office cares to train them on how to brand themselves and on marketing and things like that? Are you going to have some people that turn you down and say no? Absolutely. But you're going to find the ones that are going to be all for it. And now you're automatically exposed in a high trust environment to a lot of different athletes that you can help. And obviously, if they have a wealth management company, then they're going to be able to afford your services. So you've better qualified your target market. Veterinary supplies. Again, same thing, different market. And we could, the supplies is obviously easiest when I'm working with someone that clearly buys something from somewhere to do their job, right? They need these things to do their jobs. In other markets, you may have to think a little bit bigger than supplies. You might have to think of tool sets of, all right, what tools are they using to do their job? Things like that. So now, why do the COI want to work with you? So I'm going to give you an example of a value proposition and a call to action. Honestly, I wrote this last week. And again, not tested, but very interested in seeing it tested. So if you reached out, let's say you want to reach somebody that works with roofing companies. By the way, you'll see on the results I shared with you a second ago, I showed you both national results and local results. So if you want to start small and just start working with people that are servicing locally, then you can absolutely do that. I'll read that in a second. So if you were to send out this kind of a message, I can help your customers grow their business by 10% or more with you this year. I'm going to charge you $0 to do it. We should chat. When are you free for lunch? Assuming a local approach, right? Why are they not going to talk to you? You're not going to charge me a thing? Why do you want to talk to me? You're going to help me grow my business and you're not going to charge me a thing? What's up? Sure. So how to close a lunch meeting? So let's say you actually get that lunch, right? So, I literally have, kind of a templated script, if you will. Obviously, you free flow. I will help your customers grow their business with you this year by helping them grow their business. I work with partners such as yourself to put on marketing training events that provide real value to whatever the niche is. I'm not going to charge you anything to do it. In fact, what I'll be giving you are tickets valued at whatever value you want to put it, honestly. But, I threw in $2,499 each. You're going to mail and email those out to your customers as a value add for being a customer. This is a nice little touch point for them of, hey, I'm going to give you something that has this high value, this $2,000 webinar that I've signed you up for, $2,000 event that I have signed, I'm giving you a ticket. If you use it, then cool. Obviously, to them, it is going to be free, right? But the level of information that you would elect to share that should match that value, right? So on top of the marketing training that is going to help that business, your customers are going to appreciate the free gift from you. So it's just a really nice little touch point of, hey, I gave you something. And so there's this benefit for them just even sending it out, right? And then you ask, how many tickets do you want? So that's all great. You got the COI. Next step, providing the training, right? So just want to give you some tips on if you're to do this approach. How do you host a successful training? One, it's got to be high value. You have to know something in the industry that is worth people showing up to learn about. You need to show exactly the what. Tell them how to do it. Explain the why it's important for them to do it. Show the how, right? The actual day-to-day execution if they were to do this. Share tool sets. Share educational resources where they can go and keep learning more. Overall, what you want to create are write this down moments. If they're not writing anything down during the training, then you're probably too much sales pitch and not enough actual value, too much fluff. If it's all just stats, that's all fine and good. If it's just all the why, that's, not engaging enough. When I can get, to a training that goes, oh, wow, I didn't know that tool set exists, or I didn't know that company did this, and you're giving me real actionable stuff that I can take home and think about and do, that's when I see you as a leader in the industry of your niche. I go, wow, okay, this guy really knows what he's talking about. He's giving me really something very good that I can go out and execute on. Now, they might just go and leave and execute. But you at that moment have demonstrated that you are the expert. And I would recommend that you give something that they can download on your website. Hook them in remarketing. I want them seeing your brand everywhere. Have ad roll on the site, ad roll code, and now they're seeing you everywhere. And they go, wow, man, this must be a really impressive company. They're everywhere I look. All right. Step 3 is make the pre-approved offer. And I say pre-approved because the COI that you're working with, you don't want to offend them, right? If they feel like it's too salesy, they may never invite you back, right? If it has to have that value. But there's 2 offers. I am suggesting using a paid offer if at all possible. Because what's that going to do? It's going to help you immediately know that you got the right prospect in front of you that's not wasting your time, if at all possible. So, but if you want to give out a free offer, like, hey, we have that free competitor research offer, go for it. Use if you're really low on prospects and you really need to build some extra value, you want to give every inch a chance to close. Sure, go for it. And then also use if the COI isn't tolerant of an included offer, a paid offer, included sales pitch, because they have no problem you giving away free stuff to them. No one's going to say, no, don't give them something for free. Don't give them free competitor research. Don't, do all this stuff. It's only if they have a problem if you make a paid offer. But for the most part, if you're building the right relationships, they're not going to have any problem with you making a paid offer at the end, right? And then building value around what you're about to do for them. All right, so I've given you a lot of great information today. Hopefully, and you get them to, raise their hand if they got some actual advice from you. And then you walk into, all right, now if you want a done for you model, you don't want to just go home and try to execute some of the stuff, but you really want to work with an expert, then where we're going to start is, say a strategy development session, and they pay for it right up front, whether that's led by you, whether that's, something that we assist with and produce reports over here on, either way works. But now you've got a valuable prospect that you can now take to the next step. So there you go. That's what I've got for today. I am very interested in questions and feedback, and also happy to brainstorm specific niches. Again, like I said, I was looking to brainstorm. I have a lot of folks that do a lot of cold calls with different levels of success, and I wanted to give them the ability to really focus their time and energy on the stuff that's really going to pay them back the most. And this is to be tested. So if you're interested in testing that, I am all here to help you test it.
I could start us off with a comment.
Yeah, please.
I think I wrote up in the chat, talking about joining an association. You're correct. When you niche, it allows you to join that association. Like, I'm part of the Fredericksburg Builders Association, and they give trainings once a quarter. And I'm able to do one of those trainings. I did one last year. I ended up with 2 clients. because I have a warm audience. I'm part of the association. The association sends out the tickets, does all the marketing, does all of the work to get the people there. And because I'm part of the association, people want to do work with others in the association. It's a pretty more than warm. It's not hot, but it's more than a warm market. The other thing is that I've met a lot of people who are not competitors who do serve that market: insurance companies, title companies, suppliers. So I've been building some really good relationships with those people to do exactly what you said, to go out and do a training. I'm actually talking with somebody now to do a training for the group that's outside of the Builders Association, just something that him and I are going to put on.
Excellent.
So I think this is right on target. Absolutely.
Excellent. And I think that what you're going to find out of that next level is it's a far less competitive environment, right? Because all these people are showing up to this association. They are invested in themselves, but they're also hearing you. They're hearing other people. So it's a little bit more of a competitive environment. They're used to hearing a sales pitch there. Whereas when what you're about to go out and develop and pitch to the first time, who knows? They might not be a part of any associations at all. They're not used to hearing this stuff. And so they're going to be, I guess more receptive of, okay, hey, I'm not on guard every time someone gets on stage.
Well, I also think that the key here is training. When I did my training and picked up those 2 customers, there was 0 pitch, none.
There you go.
After I did my training, I said, if you have any questions, call me. My phone blew up the next day. 25 people attended. I think I got 13 phone calls, and 2 of them became customers. So
That's awesome.
there was absolutely no sales pitch at all. It was just a real training on Google My Business, because they have no idea. The other thing that I found is it's a tactic that a lot of companies like us use. The problem is, or the good thing for us, me, is I'm active in this association. I'm at all the events. I talk to the president of the association on a daily basis. I'm very active. A lot of people join these associations just to be part of it and get that list, but they're not active. So if you see 4 or 5 digital marketers in the association, don't be upset, because I can guarantee you not a single one of them is active in it. So that would be my suggestion. The other thing is that list, when you are an active component of the association and you do have that list, now you can cold call and say, hey, this is Michael. I'm part of the Fredericksburg Builders Association. I noticed you're also a member. Wanted to see if there's anything I can do for you. So being active, most of the times they'll say, hey, yeah, I've heard that name before. I've heard of him before, but if you're not active, it's not going to help.
Absolutely. Thank you, Michael. So, and I definitely want to hear something from Sajad and Michael, because I honestly, I put my, my brain power into this for you two in particular, because I know you're banging your head against the wall, doing all this cold outreach. And I'm like, how do I help these guys? How do I, help you get it off the ground, even with your limited time and energy, to be able to put in this. And so, yeah, Sajad, do you have any thoughts, any comments?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Is this something that you've done before, that you have like an example or a study that you could maybe share?
No. So that was that was literally one of the things that I wanted to just be super transparent up front of, look, this is a concept. Obviously Michael's executing on this concept, right? But this is a concept that, I know I did the cold call thing, right? I ran that team and I know what it takes to make that happen. And it takes a while. It's a lot of energy. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of work. And I want to help you skip some of that if you can. What this will take. So let me be honest on this part. So of what that company's wanting to do and and empower you. It will take you determining, hey, what is your presentation going to be? What are you going to present on? That's not the business we're in, is to build all those out or anything like that, to do those. Maybe at some point in the future. but you know, you're an expert in email marketing, right? So that can be definitely a topic. And we could start there and expand, you know, move a client up the value ladder of, you know, let's talk about email and then progress. But I also know you're a super intelligent dude. There's nothing that could stop you from doing all the research that you need to do on Google My Business or, you know, SEO and pay-per-click, et cetera. So,
So John, are you looking for proof of concept? Is that what you were just asking Mike for, to see if it's actually?
No, I'm just trying to visualize how to put it all together.
Well,
like,
I would just give you a large example. Think of any of the digital marketing conferences there are. Like YouGurus does you Summit every year, and there's speakers. And I bought 3 packages from different speakers at that summit because they have automatic
authority.
Yeah. So it definitely works. It's just a matter of having the balls and the time to get up and do it.
And what I'm suggesting here in this model is, obviously there are stages you can pay to be on, right? If you got the cash, you can just pay to be on a stage, and cool, you automatic authority, and you can just automatically in front of an audience, not have to build it. I built this concept of like, all right, let's say we have $0 we're trying to invest here, and it's literally a phone and my laptop, and we're going to build something from the ground up. And I'm like, okay, well, then I can cold call people that have the relationships, build my own association, in essence, my own event, and present and give education and training. That was the idea of like, hey, if you got nothing and, you know, no extra money to put into this, then build it yourself. Obviously, if you can just pay to be on a stage, pay to be on a stage. You know, I would start small, right? Make sure that your presentation and deck is set to, you know, you can get in a model that converts, right? So start at smaller events and then work your way up. But you know, this is the, hey, I want to build it from, you know, on completely on your own. So
now your deck, I believe it said it could be a webinar. So are you saying that this could be either a live presentation or sort of a pre-recorded online thing?
So I wasn't thinking pre-recorded as much, more of a
live.
Yeah, live webinar, live presentation. You know, hey, you know, this model can be used in a lot of ways. If you said, if you build a whole lot of training for a specific industry, and you went to somebody and said, look, I just want to give you guys access to this. You guys can you got all the videos, everything like that. I want to give you guys access to this. Here's logins. How many logins do you need? I'll give them all free access. And you can send this out as a value add. You know, it's worth $5,000 per person, but I'm giving it away to you. I have no problem with that model. Not at all. You know, and then now you've got all these people going through your stuff. And then at the end of each video, just a small little call to action, small little call to action, small little call to action.
Yeah.
And then now also, by the way, if you're getting them to go to a website, I'm just going to reiterate it again. Mike, if you're not doing this right now with people at you know, going somewhere to download something from you at, you know, when you're speaking, if you have something high value for them to download, get them to come to your site, you got them in remarketing. Mike, you doing that right now? Or Michael?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Good.
So one of the things go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. Go.
No. I was just saying, so just tag them with like a Google tag or a Facebook tag, and keep hitting them with remarketing ads. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Giving them something that they can download. You know, if you're doing a live event, give them something that they go back to your site to download. That'll get them. Or if you're doing, if you're doing a video approach of here, have access to all these videos that train on all these different concepts, send them out to your, you know, your network, you know, as a free resource, and play with that. Maybe it's not a free resource. Maybe it's just a discounted resource. You know, you can, heck, you can make money off of an info product.
Yeah.
And then lead them into the agency product. So
I just personally like the live model better than the webinar model.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because people do business with people they know, like, and trust, and getting to shake your hand and getting to actually know you and ask a question face to face, so much different than a webinar.
It is. It is. I will say that you got to play to your strengths, right? You got to play to your time availability. Like right now, I know Sajad right now is full-time Hallmark, you know, and he's doing this with every 2 seconds he can spare to put together. You know, any of the calls he's doing with us, he's jumping out to his car on a cell phone and things like that. So whatever you can make happen. Obviously there's things that happen on the weekends as well. There you go. So
I don't think it has to be a big group either. You can do small 8, 10, 12 people groups and still get a lot of authority from doing that, I think.
Yeah. Now, quick question. I know we were talking about niches. Like if we're targeting like a specific niche with this presentation, should our website reflect that we're a specialist in that niche? Like, or should our website, do you think it should be sort of general?
So
that's a good question. Yeah.
I would suggest in the beginning stages that you have a specialized website. If you're gonna go after a niche, it's gonna work out a whole lot better because they are gonna see like, oh wow, this is what they focus in on. For all I care, it's a specialized micro site, right? You go like, I mean, you got Stafford Technologies over there who has his own separate site for a specific industry. There you go.
Yeah, we have another site for Contractor Websites Plus, which is just contractors.
Right. Which you could build that out. You could say, hey, we're Nitro Plug, but this is our specific product for this niche. You know.
Okay.
And so we're all talking about that. You know, hey, I'm Nitro Plug, but you know what I want to talk to you about is one of the companies I own, which is, you know, insert name.
Okay. All right.
All right, and then
yeah, it's a great idea. I like it. I think it's definitely something I'm going to look into right away.
Sweet, awesome, good. I'm really glad I could give you something to take away and start executing on. And like I said, you know, look, I think that I mean, we're here to assist with all this, so we want to make sure that you're successful. And then
so that means you guys are going to do all the marketing for this for free?
No. No. I am here. So my value to my partners is this 6 inches. And I'm going to consult and give you guys ideas and all this stuff. You guys got to do all the work. My value is in mobilizing the masses, or the, you know, not even the masses, but the 8 people I really care about making successful. So, all right. And then we also got, I want to also hear from Mike, Zach, and Rich. So, Mike, what are your thoughts on all this stuff?
No, I mean, it sounds great. So one of the things that, with that said, you know, we get a lot of referrals or proposal opportunities from our current clients, and one of them is somebody that I could even actually do this with at their location. They could present what they do, and we could present what we do. My biggest problem I'm finding is, yeah, we're really good at our B2B appointment setting services, lead generation. We do email marketing, and it's, you know, but the knowledge of digital marketing, this is kind of why I tied up with you guys, right? So when those questions start coming around, I know enough to give a response on a 30,000 foot level. But if they get into anything meaty, you know, that's usually when I reach out to Marty, and in a live or a live face-to-face or a live webinar, I'm not going to be able to answer that, right? So that's kind of where my hesitation comes up a little bit. And then, you know, we've been doing this for a while, not just on the digital marketing, but on the B2B lead generation side. And the whole thing with picking a niche has always escaped me a little bit. Reason being is we fall into certain niches by accident,
Sure.
or whatever you want to call it, right? Because opportunities arise,
Mhm.
and we end up doing really, really good at it, right? One of our top niches are for any industry that reaches out to property managers. So, in other words, commercial plumbers, commercial roofers, commercial landscapers. Honestly, we're so good at it. We basically set an appointment every 20 calls.
Nice. Heck
It's
yeah.
that. It is that. I don't know why, right? But then at the same token, we have other industries where we do it for, executive management consultants, and it can take anywhere up to 200, 300, 400 calls to get that appointment, but they stick. But to a management consultant that charges starts at $30,000 to $40,000, that's a nothing for them, right?
So let me,
it's hard to pick that niche kind of
let
thing.
me give you a thought that might be able to assist you. I mean, you already have, a business that is working well, and you're selling well, and
Yeah.
what, I mean, what I would recommend for the current customers, right, is I think you keep it super simple. You go, look, I just acquired a digital marketing agency. And so I want to talk to you about, what we're doing is really great, but I want to talk to you about just differentiating and making sure all our eggs aren't in one basket. And so let's do a comprehensive analysis of what digital marketing might look like for you and your business. It's $1,000. And we come back with a whole strategy. And if you like it, then we move forward. If you don't, then hey, now you've got some good insight. And it becomes this, like, I don't want to take you away from what you're already doing that's really good. I want to just add on to it, right?
Yeah,
And
right,
so this
exactly.
so this is just the next part of the value ladder. So I would just suggest integrating that. I would also suggest, if you're closing a new client, you go, look, I'm really glad that we're doing this. I think this is going to be really good for you. And then you just tack that on. You go, hey, look, I recommend we also look at what's differentiation look like for you, in terms of your marketing approach. We're going to do this. It's normally $2,500, but today it's going to be $1,000 if you add it on to what we're doing. And I will, we'll sell it as a loss leader, make it $900, whatever you want to do. Our price to you is obviously the $760, $75, right? That's the discounted price.
Sure.
And we got them in. They paid for a product. You get to pull us all in, kind of go from there. But your COI model could be focused on what you're good at, and you present on what you're good at. All I care is, if you're looking a way to expand, this could be a way to expand what you know. Like I just said to Shajad, hey, expand what you know, email marketing, right?
Right.
So expand what you know, appointment setting, right? Talk all about that. And then,
well, that's it. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's exactly it, right? Because for us, we have to do it. Because here's one of the things that happens, and I've been doing this with my company the last 4 years, but with the previous company since 09 or 08. Appointment setting services, they're never long lasting, right? They do really, really well, and they either get overwhelmed and their salespeople can't handle it, or after 6 months max, they feel they can do it themselves. They always fail at it because they're
right.
Salespeople don't sit and do 20 calls an hour, right? So they'll always fail at it, but they don't come back. And then we have the seasonal, and that's where the property manager, that's more seasonal, because asphalters, they're going to start come spring, right? Because they want to work in summer. Landscapers, so that's why we wanted to get into this, because we wanted to put a package together that makes them stick with us all year long, whether they're seasonal or not, right? So we do calling, and then when we don't do calling, we focus on PPC, whatever, and they can pay one price all year long. I don't care.
So here's my thought for you then, and you take this however you want. Instead of in being an optional, hey, you can add this on instead of $2,500, it's $1,000 for this comprehensive analysis to build digital strategy for the reasons already listed of not putting all your eggs in one basket. You go, look, this is what I know. I refuse to just sell you one service. I want to help you differentiate. And so
Right.
as part of this package, automatically included, it's $1,000, or automatically included, and you just build it into the price. You don't even detail it. You don't reveal that it's an extra $1,000. You just go, hey, you just build it automatically into your price. And
Yeah.
you go, I refuse to work with anybody that just wants this, because I know that I have so much more value to provide to you that we're gonna automatically include doing this comprehensive analysis.
Yeah,
And
you just nailed it, and that has been our downfall, and I think it's everybody's downfall when you first start out a business.
Mhm.
You grab at straws. If somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, I can pay you $500 a month,"
Right.
It's $500.
Right.
You'll grab it, right? And you should,
Right.
Put another zero on it, and I'm interested.
Well, and I'm not gonna tell anybody that they shouldn't grab it if at the
No, but
beginning
I
of
know,
the business,
yeah.
right?
But
So,
you got to concentrate for the. You need to get bang for the buck as well as
Yep.
the business owner, not
Yep.
just the customer. Yeah.
Yep. So maybe you look at that. Maybe you look at just how, use the COI model to all about the appointment setting, right? And then you just start integrating that one product into whatever you sell them, the first thing you sell them. You integrate that as automatically included. You bake that into your price. And now you've opened up the lifetime value of that customer, because now you're going to get to talk to them about so much more, just
Exactly.
programmatically throughout, every prospect. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Cool. Awesome. All right. I got 6 more minutes. I want to talk to Zach and Rich. So Zach.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, finally, I was able to re-download Zoom. No, I mean, I about a year and a half ago, as I've told you in the past, I decided to eventually niche down and kind of really focus on the sports and athletic industry. And a lot of people kind of told me, hey, you're not going to be able to get to elite athletes. They're 1 in a million. But in reality, they're kind of, they turn around a lot. There's some things there. And I was really able to focus down on how my processes worked with this target niche. So when it comes to retargeting, it comes to dealing with them, I'm able to now sell. For instance, just last week, just through my SEO efforts, I got an MLB player that came in, which we'll talk about later, Mike, that came in. And with the way I now have my packages set up, they were like, yeah, let's start next week. It was an easy sell. They went to my website. They saw all the other athletes I worked with. But at the same time, if you're afraid to niche, I've noticed that a lot of the reoccurring stuff you get from like going to chambers and growing your authority that way that's not niched, they don't really care about your website. It's kind of funny. You've already built that trust with them because you've already talked to them. And I'll get clients, like I got the big IT company just through they didn't care that I niched athletic wise. So don't be as afraid if you're going to want to do, one website and totally niche down on it. A way to get around that is adding an industries we serve section and just kind of throwing in there small business. I have 2 or 3 window tinting clients that, I randomly just got, and I work with them and they're one of my biggest selling clients. But I've noticed that with what you're saying, with really focusing in, one of my biggest things once I got clients and once I got some of the smaller professional athletes, that it built my authority towards reaching those larger markets. So now I'm getting prospects that are coming in that are actually sports marketing companies that don't focus on the digital side and saying, hey, how can we partner together where you have a lot of athletes in the back burner that you can bring that stuff to me. And that's what I'm starting to push for through this year. So in the long run, I do think part of it is it takes time. But it definitely does help you hone in your marketing efforts and how you're really hitting those pain points for those particular people.
Right. Absolutely. So, and then as far as the COI model and the event model, is that something that you're doing at all right now with partners, is, building out events to be able to be in front of multiple athletes at the same time?
It's kind of, the athletic market's a little bit harder. There's not too many groups that deal with the athletic market.
Right.
But I am, for instance, I finally took a leap of faith. And like you said, paying, when you have that money to pay, I'm paying $6,500 and I'm going to the Super Bowl in a week and a half. And I'm a sponsor towards an elite athlete based thing provided by the NFL where it works with companies like sports marketing, investors that help invest to athletes to open their businesses and things of that nature. So that's where I am now at that point where I'm like, all right, now I can afford to take a bigger risk towards this niche because
Absolutely.
I'm slowly starting to bring the money in. So yes, I'm slowly getting there, but it's taken me time.
Okay. So I had, by the way, just for you, I was thinking about this from this perspective. If you were to reach out to people that are in the role of director of ticket sales or VP of ticket sales for, you know, any of the NFL teams, any NBA teams, MLB, et cetera, and say, hey, look, this is what I do. I focus on you know, training athletes on how to actually build their brands, on how to make sure that, you know, it goes beyond just playing the sport. And I'm gonna provide a social media training specifically for athletes. And you know, these are the tickets. You know, $2,500 ticket. I'm gonna give you as many free tickets as you want to be able to get to all your athletes.
Oh, definitely. I'm the sports teams are one of the ones I will reach out to, but I feel like I need to build a little more authority before I can reach that
So
demographic.
and perhaps you do need to you know, a little bit more, right? And honestly, it's a little bit more in your confidence more than your actual brand. So it's not about who you are, right? Or what you've already done. It's obviously you want to feel more confident. So then start with some of the ECHL hockey teams, you know, like you're not talking NHL, you know, so start with a little lower league, right? Start there. And then hone in your pitch, hone in the offer. But if you were to reach out to some of those teams and go, hey, look, for all your team members here, I'm going to hook you up with all these tickets. How many tickets you want? Don't waste them, right? I'm going to give them to you for free, but don't waste them. Don't, you know, hand them out to players that aren't going to show. Or, you know, say, hey, look, in fact, I'll do it on location for you guys. I'm not going to charge you a thing. But let's be real. Why am I doing this for you guys? Because one, the reason you want to work with me is because if they actually know how to do their stuff and promote themselves right, you're going to end up with more ticket sales because they're going to become a name that people want to come see.
Yeah.
And then two, they're going to want it because they want to be a name beyond just, you know, where's the money? The money isn't in playing the sport. The money is in the sponsorships and all this stuff. And they actually have to make their name known. So that's what I'm going to come in here and teach them.
Yeah.
So anyways, you know, start small, you know, if you want. And that's completely fine. Let me be honest. Had we worked in sports before we worked with the Orlando Magic? Nope. We just got to work with the Orlando Magic. We invited the way we got the Orlando Magic is we invited their CEO out to our event to speak at our event, by the way. Said, hey, you're part of the Orlando EDC. You know, we just got Inc. 500 status. Come talk. And he did. He remembered us. Just like, wow, I just said all these amazing things about this marketing company. I need a marketing company. Called us. So a little bit different of approach in that case, right?
No, that's and I am starting to do that with the digital marketing side. I'm starting to realize I don't really like cold calling because of that 6%. Mm-hmm. So my strategy is more so warm them up with as much content as possible towards the niche while I'm reaching them on LinkedIn and things of that nature, invite them onto the podcast, things of that nature. And then eventually, hopefully that leads to more, you know, sales.
Inviting them onto the podcast is definitely a cool approach. We actually took that approach ourselves. I don't think we personally executed that great. But it's the Trojan horse. It's the, hey, by the way, I think you're amazing. I want you to be on my podcast, which has all these followers to talk. And then now you've actually built a relationship with them. So that's your easy outreach to any of these guys doing ticket sales. Mm-hmm. And then you go, look, hey, no, we need to talk offline real quick. I got a concept I want to run past you. I do these trainings. You need to sell more tickets. What if we put on an event together? What are your thoughts on that? And it's super simple. You know, it's super low sales pressure. So anyways, and then, sorry, Rich, I know we're a little over, but Rich, if you got any comments for us?
Sure. Yeah, this is very interesting. It's new to me. I'm thinking of a bunch of use cases in my head right now. I'm thinking of if I do use that COI in the events model, like if I reach out to, like, say, a supplier or something like that. I'm trying to think of like what topics to train on or maybe have an event on. So I wonder if they can like help me out with like sending a survey to their clients to say like, hey, if you're interested in marketing, like what here are a list of topics, or any of these more interesting to you or something like that. Maybe they can help me out. And I'm a little bit slower in gathering, closing anything. So I might have to like warm up these people. So I'm trying to think if I should send them an email first and follow up with a call. I'm not really good at just, getting anyone to do anything off a first call.
What? But, you're amazing at that. Speaking into being, man.
Yep. That's a good point, actually. Yep. Got to speak it into being. And the ticketing process, like that sounds cool. So I got to figure out like the little fine tune.
Right.
Like, do I have a website that takes payment? Do I have to work with a Ticketmaster? All these little things like that I have to figure out. So
honestly, in my high level concept was you would print out tickets for them, and they would be able to mail them off. You can make a digital version of a ticket. I'm sure you could go to Fiverr or any there's plenty of graphic designers I know, right, that I can introduce you to that can make a good looking ticket that can go out via email, however you want to do it. But yeah, no, there's I think you're thinking the right thoughts. So yeah, if you want to brainstorm more on that, happy to.
What is Rich's niche?
Oh, I don't have a niche right now. I have personal things that I have. I'm very interested in, like for instance, the whole martial art realm. I'm not sure if they're a good niche. Software development realm, that might be a good niche if there's software companies that need marketing. Yeah,
I am a big fan. If I'm going to tell you that $30,000 example, software. So,
gotcha.
I am a fan of software. Martial arts, they don't expand exceptionally well. You end up with the owner running the place, right? And it's, as far as big ticket, right? In terms of them becoming big customers, they're not going to become big customers. They're normally, honestly, a lot of martial arts places I find have about $300 to $500 a month to invest in marketing, and it's not a whole lot. And Zach probably could talk to that a little better than I can, but yeah. Okay.
Right.
Hey, Rich, one last thing for you. I haven't seen you on the Facebook group.
Oh, you know what? Because I haven't even joined. That's my fault.
Michael, keeping everybody accountable. I love it.
I'll join that. I actually joined a couple Facebook groups in the past when I started the company, and I got a lot of followers from it, but not really anything, any calls or appointments. So maybe I have to focus on that and maybe do that better, because I know a lot of people can get clients just from Facebook groups.
All I would say is if you're going to take that approach, focus on the centers of influence. Stop the 101 and start focusing on the people that, hey, they can bring you multiples.
That's a good point.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you found value in today. If you guys want to chat more and, one-on-one, happy to do so. Let's execute some of this.
Hey, Mike, when's our next meeting now?
So the next meeting, next week, you guys are supposed to be doing your one-on-one with your accountability partner. Reach out, schedule that if you haven't already. If we're having trouble with any of your accountability partners, let me know. I'll knock heads together. And then our next one is going to be on the 3rd, February 3rd. That's going to be the where we talk about our goals for the month. Did we achieve last month? Your accountability partner is supposed to announce for you if you achieved. I sent out questions, by the way, via email. Just a little template of some questions to ask during your accountability meeting. That way you can show up and be prepared to answer the same questions everybody else is going to be prepared to answer.
Can you resend me the link for the accountability? I don't know if I ever got it.
Sure. The introduction to your accountability partner?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have the questions to ask your accountability partner?
I don't think so.
All right. Let me hook you up with both.
Cool. Thanks.
Mike,
All right. Can you post those in the group?
Can I post, the questions in the group?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll do that.
Okay, cool.
Zach, is that cool? Will you check there?
Yeah.
I did put, Mike, your email that you sent out to everybody, I did put that in Teams, if everybody still goes to Teams.
Forget Teams. Everybody leave Teams.
Yeah, everybody loves Teams. Well, I mean, not everybody, because, I mean, if they didn't get if you lost the email, you don't have our link to this bridge, you don't have the invite to the group, so you don't have anything.
That's true.
So just in case you found anything, I'd really put it in Teams, just in case.
That's true. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that. Oh, and then Marty also updated the leaderboard, which I don't think it really changed much, did it, Marty?
Didn't.
Uh-oh. Well,
You're
hopefully,
slacking on me.
hopefully some of this stuff helps you guys change some stuff. All right, guys, that's it. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
All right.
Great.
All right. Thank you.
All right, bye.
All right. Bye.
Hold on.